Hey, sneaking in from the side here. Anybody there? It's Mr. Fix-It coming at you. Look, I got an interesting product for you today. Just got it from Home Depot Seeds. It was came in a box like this. Okay, it's actually, and it actually came. It was in this box, in that box. That's all the boxes. But anyway, so if you love boxes, anyway, look, this is a film for your floating floor. Okay, so I've seen other products that you can use under tile and stuff like that, but this right here, you just take this stuff out of the box. Okay, it's ready to be hooked up. You want to hook it to a 20 amp circuit breaker. Okay, so you may have to, contract an electrician, qualified electrician, and have him, put in, with a license, have him put in an additional 20 amp in your service panel, outside or inside, wherever your panel may be, and run a line just for this stuff. Okay, it does, say in the instructions that it's best if you put this on its own 20 amp circuit breaker. Okay, and that's for two reasons: so you don't blow the circuit, but also a product like this runs more efficiently if it has all the juice that it can draw at one time, instead of the juice going up and down by you turning lights and plugging in stuff. Okay, so just to be clear, you don't want to put it on a circuit with lights and other outlets. Put it on its own circuit. So like I said, you may want to hire a qualified electrician to do that, to put a 20 amp circuit additional in your service panel, wherever that may be. It's not as hard as you think. I mean, in some applications it may be difficult, and you may want to check all that out before you order the stuff. But this stuff is pretty basic on installation. I mean, you just roll it out and put your floor over top of it. It has your neutral here and it has your power here. Okay, so they're all going to be tied in to, and I also recommend having an alternate, small box, for your, for this to be tied into, and maybe have an on-off switch on it. You can, tie this into a thermostat if you like. I would recommend doing that, a simple thermostat, and just a single stage you can use for it, just to make sure you don't overheat the room. Otherwise, you can have an on-off switch if you don't use the room that much, if it's a kid's room. Or I'm going to try and install it in my RV. The only thing with that is you're going to have to make sure you have the power to run it, because if you're only running on 30 or 50 amp, you may have to, put in its own system, its own box on an RV also, and plug that in separately when you get, to your site where you park. Okay, so it has wiring on both sides. Okay. Both ends. It's 18 feet long by 3 feet. So you're gonna, if you have another panel, if your room's wider than 3 feet, which I'm sure it is, you're gonna have several of these films, or heating panels. So you're gonna want to tie them into each other, and an electrician can help you with that also, unless you're handy with electric. But I would do some research and make sure you're hooking it all up right. Like I said, there's wiring on both sides. It's 18 feet long by 3 feet, and this is for use on a floating floor. So you got your panels. Some of them come with padding underneath of it. Others don't. You have to put a padding down. Okay, so you want to read in your instructions. I'm pretty sure this goes on top of the padding. So you're going to put your padding or your vapor barrier down, and then put this on top of it, and then you install your floor right on top of this. I mean, this is skinny. This is just like plastic film. Okay, and should be really convenient because there's no other components to it. You don't have to order any other thing except for the electrician hooking up the 20 amp circuit the proper way. And like I said, you can put a thermostat on it if you want. That's what I would recommend. So look, this film is by, let me see, Radiant Heat Film. MP Global. MP Global. Okay, so if you're interested, go on to HomeDepot.com and you can look it up and talk to your electrician or do your research and, you know, make sure you have it hooked up right. Heaven forbid, you know, you don't want to cause a fire or anything like that. Okay, that's all I got for today. This is the heating film. It goes under your floating floor. Okay, and it, like I said, my RV floor gets so cold, like, you know, you can't even have bare feet. And also, like, if you have kids, a kid's room or something like that, where you want, you know, the room to be heated from the floor, because the heat does rise. So it is a great idea. And you know, especially if you have, like down in Florida, they have concrete floors everywhere, so they get damp, you know, really damp. And a lot of places in Florida don't get that cold, except for this week. Oh, you guys are dying down there. We got family down there and they're complaining, whining, because it's in the 20s. But that doesn't happen that often. But there are places up in the Panhandle and all that do get quite cold in the wintertime. And there are other places, you know, in Arizona and Texas and all, where they do use concrete floors. Here in Nevada, they really don't use them that much. In Reno they don't, but in Vegas they probably do. So again, floating floors, you're gonna put your vapor barrier down or your padding, then you're gonna put your floor right on top of it. Make sure this thing is all hooked up and test it out before you put your floor on. That's what I would recommend. Put this on first and plug it in. Make sure the whole thing works the way it should, and done. Any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm glad you came. Got videos coming all month long. Home Depot Seeds is back on track. Pretty much during the COVID, you know, everything was kind of a little screwed up. So it looks like everything's getting back in order now. So hopefully we can get back on a schedule and get your videos coming, you know, at a more consistent rate. Leave your questions in the comments and like and subscribe, man. I mean, I got 400 videos almost on here, and there's videos covering all kinds of stuff. So go through my library. Sometimes, you know, it'll come up on your search, but sometimes you have to, you know, search my library, and there probably is a video on whatever you're doing. So check it out, guys. Like and subscribe. I'm glad you came. Have a great one. I'm out.